Hey, good morning and welcome to Patriot Radio News Hour. I'm Joe Jaquin, CEO of the Patriot Trading Group. And as I've warned you, I've told you, I've educated you, how much does your portfolio weigh? That's really the question. I know we want to believe, right? Green money, orange money, the green line, how people walking around with millions of dollars in their 401k. That was never going to happen. That wasn't the plan. Trust me, that's not what they intended. What they really intend is they want you all to be a financial victim of what they've done. I mean, really, have you asked yourselves seriously? And I know you hate to be that way. Well, I don't want to deal with reality. I don't want reality. Let me turn on Howard Stern. Let me listen to the Comedy Channel or the Bebop station. You know what? Let me turn on the sports station because I want to find out about the Arizona Cardinals because it's so important to my financial well-being. Obviously, it's not, unless you're an actual Cardinal employee. For 1 hour a day, I want you to come and listen to reality. And during that hour, prepare. That's it. The other 23 hours, knock yourself out. Right? You want to watch TV in the idiot box all day long? Go for it. Right? You want to have the sports channel on, or you want to listen to XM comedy radio? Surf the web beyond your phone? Great. But for this hour, understand what is happening, and I'll lead you to the promised land. 800-951-0592. That's the toll-free number. You know the number. You know how we operate. Right? We're not like everybody else. And I will tell you, I am seeing it firsthand. The ones that do business with the wrong people. Listen, there's a lot of really good gold dealers out there. There is. Lots of them. The problem is there's those bad ones out there, they just like Harry Marco Polos, who tries to let us know who the evildoers out there. They're out there. And they're really good at what they do. So be careful. And listen, if you're not doing business with me, I wish you would. But I get it. Make sure you're not getting ripped off. Do your homework. The website, allamericangold.com. Friday, I teased about a silver special. I was waiting for something. That something is here. We'll talk about that here in the next segment. We have a great opportunity, something, one of them I've actually never seen before. That's how unusual it is. The other one, it's happened once in a while. You'll see it. Not that often. So, and then again, of course, the only way Patriot does it, the pricing's going to be phenomenal. So stay tuned for that. We got all kinds of things to talk about over the weekend. There was tweets going on. There was they're calling it good news on the trade war again. I don't think it's good news. Huawei, the cell phone provider, the cell service 5G competitor, whatever you want to call it, spies. If they're even half as bad, they're just 10% as bad as they say these guys are, right? We've heard it how many times? They're a threat to the national security of the United States, and they're putting stuff into their gadgets to spy on everybody and all that stuff. Why would we even do business with them if that was true? Over the weekend, we announced we're extending for another 90 days Huawei's ability to buy certain things from U.S. companies. In other words, hey, we're going to allow them to continue to operate. Now, I don't know if that would, Huawei would go out of business. That's not what it's about. I think what's happened is we found out, hey, there's a bunch of companies out there that if we don't allow for Huawei to buy stuff from them, they're going to go out of business. Why should that matter to me if they're as bad as they say they are? But that was what got the Dow really excited was, hey, yeah, look, we caved again. Right? We caved again. So Huawei gets another 90 days, and I guess the talks will continue. But if you haven't figured it out by now, China's not going anywhere. And so I don't put a lot of stock in the move today, but whatever. Anything that could be remotely thought of progress, usually when they are happy about it, has been bad for us, right? The delay of the tariffs. Now Huawei gets another 90. We already had given them 90 days already. Now we have them another 90 days. Hey, it's all about the art of the deal. By the way, when we get back, we'll talk about silver, and then we'll talk about the president just unleashed on the central bank again. We're back, 800-951-0592, Patriot Radio News Hour. Before we talk about the latest unleashing, if you will, from the president against the Federal Reserve, we got a great opportunity in the silver market this morning. Something where, as I was saying, we haven't one item I've never dealt with before, and one item we've dealt with it plenty of times in the past, but it's unusual. So what we have, I've got 50 sets. Okay, that's all there is. 50 sets. I'm just going to tell you right now, 5 sets is the limit. Okay, so you can't buy more than 5 sets. And I've got 50 sets total. The first item are walking Liberty $50. Now, for those of you that, when you think about that's junk silver, pre-1965 silver $50. So walking liberties, these are silver $50. These are the old ones. These are the oldest of the series of Walkers, Franklins, and then the 1964 Kennedy. The Walkers are, most of the early 1900s, right up through World War II. That is the Walkers series. They are hard to get. You don't see them a lot. Are they rare? I wouldn't say they're rare. But I would definitely say when we buy bags of $50, there's less of the Walkers than there are anything else. A lot of Franklins, 64 Kennedys are out there as well, but the Walkers, there's not tons of them. So you're going to get one roll of Walker $50, 20 Walkers. They're all Walkers. I've looked through them. Very unusual on the Walkers to be able to read the dates. Most of these, the dates are clearly legible. I mean, I saw 1932s, 1926, 1943s. They're all in there. You're going to get a roll of Walkers. So a roll of 20 Walker $half. The other roll, so there's going to be two different rolls in this set. The other roll is going to be the 1964 Kennedys. Here's what makes this one so special. These are AU, BU, brilliant uncirculated, almost uncirculated. These are by far the nicest $half that I have ever seen. I mean, these things, they're nice. They're all 1964. They're all, so you're going to get a whole roll of AUBU Kennedy $half and a whole roll of Walker $half. Now the Walkers, I'll just flat out tell you, those are circulated. It's hard to actually find a Walker in any other condition than that. But the Kennedys, I'm telling you right now, they look like they were made yesterday. So you're going to get a roll of each. They're $270 for the pair. So you're sitting there, you're thinking about that's $135 for per roll, if you will, on the Walkers and the Kennedys. 5 is the limit. I've only have 50 sets, and believe me, really, I only have 50. I don't have 51, 55. I only have 50. These are live in Phoenix. So if you want to call up, place your order, pick them up today, you can do so in Phoenix. Colorado will have to wait because I'm going to have to ship these up to Jason for you guys up there in Colorado. 800-951-0592. The rolls of silver $half. U.S. government hallmark silver. Way cheaper than Silver Eagles. And I'm going to tell you right now, you will not see a Kennedy $half any nicer than what we're going to be shipping in these. And then these Walkers, for Walkers, they're actually in really good shape by and large. Obviously, the Walkers are going to be, they're going to be toned and worn. But you got to remember, in the 1900s, that 50-cent piece, that was breakfast, lunch, dinner, right? I mean, you could get it all done. So take the time, put them away. $270 for the set. If you buy 5, $1,350, and that is the limit. 800-951-0592. So now the president just came out and talked about Jay Powell again. This isn't a weekly thing. It's now almost every single day. And he was out hammering the central bank. Of course, remember what B of A and J.P. Morgan said about quantitative easing last week? Right, that quantitative easing 4 is going to be here before the end of the year. That's not me. I'm not saying that. That's what Bank of America and J.P. Morgan are saying. That the Fed is going to be forced to start quantitative easing sooner. Apparently, this is something that the Fed, up until recently, was engaging in additional liquidity draining, right, via quantitative tightening. Of course, that is something the president has been huge on, right? He's been talking about what? I want rate cuts, and I want quantitative easing. Well, guess what? Today, things got even, even for the president, it seems like every week he gets a little more frustrated, a little more angry about what the Federal Reserve is doing. Trump made his first official demand. He's demanding some quantitative easing. And he said, despite the strong economy, the strongest economy in the world, now, I don't know if you can have it both ways, right? Is the economy strong? Now, is it the strongest in the world? I don't know, because the rest of you, let's face it, no one's economy is that strong right now. Our economy is very strong despite the horrendous lack of vision by Jay Powell and the Federal Reserve. The Fed, over a fairly short period of time, I apologize, I've got allergies just been killing me lately. The Fed, over a fairly short period of time, should reduce by at least 100 basis points with some quantitative easing as well. Now, is the president providing cover for the central bank? I doubt it, right? Because I don't think the central bank is very smart. And I've told you this how many times now. Just look at the track record, right? Forget about what I say. It doesn't matter. Right? Because I know, right? Oh, no, Double's trying to scare us. Double's trying to make us worry about something. No, I'm trying to get you to understand what's real. There's no liquidity left. They've created so much debt. And so much money now needs to go towards refinancing this debt. I think I read somewhere the debt's up like $360 billion just in the last month. And that money has to come from somewhere, right? So Bank of America, J.P. Morgan are saying, listen, we're about out. We got no money left to buy this. We don't have enough, right? It's turning into this liquidity crisis where these banks are saying, hey, wait a minute. The economy's not growing fast enough for us to be able to finance all this debt, right? We can't take any more. Less people are coming. Less people are bidding. Right now, of course, Wall Street's acting like it's not happening. Believe me when I tell you, it is. Now look at the 10-year note. Right? The 10-year note at 159 today. By the way, that's actually up. Right? I mean, it almost got into the 1.4s last week. They're already half a basis point below the Fed's funds rate. So now the president's saying, and now remember what I told you about the trade war. I guarantee you that meant another rate cut and probably two before now and the end of the year. Now the president said, I want 100 points before the end of the year. And I'm sitting there and I'm watching all of these countries whose debt continues to go into negative territory. And know this, Alan Greenspan last week kind of told us all the truth, didn't he? I love it when these guys get older. It's amazing. All of a sudden they just start telling the truth about, hey, zero is just a number, guys. Right? It's just a number. Of course we can go negative. Heck, we can go -1. There's -2. Guess what else is a number? -3 is a number. -4 is a number. And now add quantitative easing on top of it. Okay, so think about this. Here it is. This isn't even the worst case scenario, right? Bank of America, JP Morgan, right? They're all saying, listen, you got to do it. You got to bring back quantitative easing. Now, remember, that was supposed to be an emergency, right? Hey, we got an emergency. You bring out quantitative easing. And why was it they needed quantitative easing? Right? Most of us don't even know what it means. What was it? I don't understand. I know they bought treasuries and mortgage-backed securities, right? I know that. But really, why did they have to do it? And the answer was really simple. See, when banks loan to each other, right, just like anything else, like if you're a business out there and you need a business loan, what's one of the things the bank, what do you got for collateral? Right? How do I know I'm going to get my money? Well, guess what the collateral usually is? It's these treasury notes. And here's what the banks are saying, well, I don't want that collateral. I've got plenty of those. You got anything else? And the banks are like, nope.
This is the Phyllis Schlafly Report, a daily commentary continuing the conservative pro-family legacy of Phyllis Schlafly. Now, the president of Phyllis Schlafly Eagles, Ed Martin.
A court in Great Britain ordered a 22 weeks pregnant woman with mental disabilities to have an abortion against the will of her and her mom. The woman is in her 20s and being cared for by England's National Health Service. Even against the advice of her social worker, the judge decided he was acting in her best interest, a phrase Phyllis Schlafly often linked to America's judicial supremacists. I think she would like to have a baby in the same way she would like to have a nice doll, the judge patronized. Thankfully, in this case, a higher appeals court has overturned this lower judge's terrible decision. But it raises a litany of questions and concerns in the United States. Conservatives are often painted as conspiracy theorists for extreme criticism of government-controlled health care. Forced abortions, forced sterilizations, death panels, these are all wild fantasies, liberals say, and would never happen in a national health care system in America. Stories like this one in Britain are not isolated, however. Courts make medical decisions for ordinary citizens all the time. Under national health care, quotas are met, people wait for months for proper treatment and care, quality of care and professionalism declines or disappears altogether. These are symptoms of national health care, and they are evident in Britain's NHS or in Canada's socialized medicine system. It's been said thousands of times, but it's worth repeating. Healthcare relationships and decisions under national healthcare systems, they leave the hands of doctors and patients, and they find their way to unaccountable judges and bureaucrats. It begs the question for the United States, why on earth do we even entertain the insanity of Medicare for all? For months, over 24 Democrats running for the highest office in the land have sounded virtually the same on this very issue. They have supported the removal altogether of a private healthcare industry where people can shop for their own insurance and pick their own doctors and medical care. All of this should disturb Americans and should rightly ruin the credibility of any candidate who supports such lunacy. Judges and bureaucrats do not have our best interests in mind, and Americans cannot allow a system that puts our family healthcare decisions at the mercy of the courts.
This has been the Phyllis Schlafly Report from Phyllis Schlafly Eagles. Despite the outrageous pro-abortion stance of many liberals, the vast majority of American people value human life. More than ever, pro-life voices need to stay vigilant and be heard. At phyllisschlafly.com, we're not backing down. Please, join us in the battle for life at phyllisschlafly.com. Thanks for listening, and join us again for the Phyllis Schlafly Report.
800-951-0592. We have 40 specials less. Remember, 5 is the limit. You cannot buy more than 5 sets. We have the Walker, a roll of 20 Walker $half. And for Walkers, they're in decent shape for Walkers. And then the real prize of this deal is the AUBU 1964, a roll of Kennedys. These are without a doubt the nicest half dollars that I have seen. And I've been here a long time. So these are just incredible value. Other places, just to give you perspective. Other dealers out there that aren't Patriot Trading Group, they want to sell you just the roll of Kennedys for $270. I know, because the customer that sold these to me sent me the invoice of the company that sold them to her. And so I know exactly what it is. Here you're going to get the roll of Kennedys and the roll of Walkers. So you're going to get both rolls. You get 20 in each roll for $270 for the pair. 5 sets is the limit. So if you want 5 sets, $1,350. So you're going to get the oldest of the half dollars. And again, most of them you can actually read the dates on, which on the Walkers is tough to do. And then, of course, the roll of the 1964 Kennedys. I mean, they look brand new. It's incredible. 800-951-0592. So we're talking about, here comes the president hammering the central bank again. And I've been saying this now for the last couple of months. Donald Trump is telling you to buy gold. I was sitting here saying, listen, we're going to see $1,600 to $1,700 gold, because I thought, listen, we're going to get 2 rate cuts between now and the end of the year. And I was only thinking quarter points. Now, that may be what we get, but that was before Bank of America and J.P. Morgan came out and said, hey, Fed, got a little problem here. We got too many of these things, and you're going to need to start buying them, because look at the size of these debt auctions, right? We can't possibly buy them all. China's not buying, Japan's not buying, nobody's buying. And so I started talking before the break about how when, banks lend to banks overnight. And they do the same thing. By the way, just stay on hold. Wendy will get to you in the order that you called. And again, these are one of these specials where, listen, this is all I got. I don't have any more. So there's still 2 lines open, 800-951-0592. Now, talking about lending to each other. So what the banks will say is, hey, what you got for collateral, right? And they'll be like, well, I got these Kmart bonds. You want those? Nah, we don't want Kmart bonds. Hey, I got Chicago bonds. How about those? You want some of those? No. Let me get my good stuff out. Hey, I got U.S. Treasuries. And that was like gold to the bank. Yeah. Okay, here's your money. No problem. Now, when they're saying, what's your collateral? And they go through their list. Nah, we don't want Kmart. Chicago, forget it. No thanks. Then they go, well, hey, we got treasuries. And guess what they're saying? Yeah, we got treasuries too, man. I don't want them. I'll pass. Right? That's called the liquidity problem. Right? Which is, hey, I've got collateral, and in this case, according to our central bank, I've got the best collateral in the world. AAA rated U.S. Treasuries, and they're saying no thanks. Of course, the reason they're saying no thanks because they're like, man, I got too many. I can't take any more. So now they're saying that the central bank is going to have to buy it all. Right? Now, I know, I told you for 1 hour, let's play reality. Essentially what they're saying is, hey, not enough people to buy all the debt now. We've hit that point, right? Remember, we've talked about when is this going to be? When is that point going to get here? See, before, when they were buying, it was an emergency. Now, I mean, we got, if it's not the strong, maybe it's not the strongest economy in the world, pretty close. Now, granted, most of the world's in big trouble, and so are we, right? I mean, we're at 2%, and we're spending $1 trillion more than we're taking in. Right? We'd be at zero. Can you imagine if the debt was just $500 billion? We'd be just like Europe. We'd be in the same place. Same place. Man, we may be in recession. Not really sure. But now we have not enough buyers. And now the central bank, even in a non-emergency, they're going to have to buy it. And at that point, look at Japan. Look at Europe. Hey, if we got to be the ones buying it, we might as well be negative rates. Right? Because we're trying to save money, right? It's killing us. We're becoming the perpetual debt slave. We are now going to be a victim of what the central bank and our government has done. Well, let's face it, the central bank, they just made up this 2% inflation number. Like, what was it, 06, 07? They just made it up. That never used to exist. And we're sitting there and they're talking and they're crying about there's no inflation, there's no inflation, there's no inflation. Really what they mean to say is, hey, we're not growing fast enough. We need debt. We need bigger debts to actually be able to afford all these other debts. It's a weird thing. I know, it's a weird thing. But yes, in order for us to be able to afford all this debt, the president's right. Listen, we need an economy growing 4, 5, 6%. 2 ain't going to get it done. Patriot Radio News Hour. You better call that number during the break if you want any of the specials today. You think about it, we got $1,500 gold, $17 silver, and I think silver and gold are both going to have a strong fourth quarter. Kind of looks like here we're boxed in now. Right? Here's the problem. The bond market has already done the Fed's job. Right? When you sit there and you think about the president saying, hey, I need a 100 basis point cut, that'll put us between 1 and 1.25. The 10-year note's at 1.5. I mean, you see where we're, and now we need quantitative easing. Right? Because, hey, we don't have enough buyers for this debt. And that's really, right, isn't that the end? Isn't that the end? I mean, we'll keep it up for a little while. But more and more you're just going to see all of the liquidity from all of the banks, and it's not just our bank, all of them, going to debt services. Right? And them looking around saying, hey, I got treasuries. Hey, no thanks. Nah, no thanks. I know they say AAA, but we kind of know the truth now. Right? How can it be AAA if you can't sell them all? Obviously, it can't. 800-951-0592. We are down to the last 18 sets. This is it. This is one of those items. Sometimes I can, wrangle a few more up. Not on this deal. You get 2 rolls of $50. One roll is a roll of Walking Liberty $50. These are the old ones. 1950, 1960, 1920s. I saw 1932s in there, 1943s in there. So the early 1900s, and I'm not kidding you. The other roll is a roll of 64 Kennedys and they are the nicest half dollars I've seen. Right? They're not proofs, right? A lot of them, and I mean a lot of them, are BUs. I mean, brilliant uncirculated. All of them are AU plus. There are some BUs in there. These things, I mean, they look like they got minted yesterday. $270 gets you the set. Limit is 5 sets, so you get limit is essentially 10 rolls of halves, 1,350 for the 5 sets. 2 lines are open, and again, once we hit that 50 number, that's going to be it for the day. 800-951-0592. So we're sitting here, right, and everyone wants to focus in on the trade war, and seemingly, right, at least for right now, it doesn't look like we're winning, right? It doesn't look like we're winning. We had to wait on the 10% tariff because the president didn't want to crush Wall Street. He cares about Wall Street, right? And I get it. Unfortunately, let's face it, the president's a wealthy, wealthy man. Right? Unfortunately for us, Wall Street and Main Street are 2 different things. But then over the weekend, we gave Huawei another 90-day extension. And you know what's funny is we still haven't got anything from China. Not a thing. Have they said, you know what, all right, hey, since you delayed, give us some soybeans. Oh, hey, you gave Huawei another 90 days. Hey, why don't you sell us some hogs, right? We got this pig thing going on, swine flu going on. No, we're not even getting that. And I'm telling you, I got a bad feeling that China is letting our negotiators know your treasuries are next. That's just, I don't know. Obviously, I don't even speak Chinese. I have no intel on that. I'm just kind of looking at the facts here. And I'm thinking, why would we be giving all of this up for nothing? Right? Normally, right? Hey, when we did this to Mexico, when we did this to Canada, right? They came. Oh, okay, all right, we'll do it. Right? Now, of course, I told you at the beginning, China's not caving. Right? They got Belt and Road. They've got the new Silk Road. They want to be a superpower. And there's only one way to become a superpower. Right? And that's by what? Everybody needs to buy our currency. And now we're sitting here and we're looking at the fact that, guess what? Hey, our central bank, they're just going to have to be the only buyer. And now are they the only buyer? No, not yet. We're not Japan yet. But here's the other problem. See, Japan didn't have this problem. No one really owns the Japanese currency very long. They use it more for a trading thing, but they don't use it to buy stuff with. Japan wasn't the reserve currency. They're in the basket, but maybe it's 2, 3, 4% max. We're still at 60+%, 63, 64, 65% of the world's debt is still held in dollars. And now, slowly but surely, more and more of that is being switched into renminbi, right? It's going into other things. So it just exacerbates the problem, right? Russia's already dumped their treasuries. And now, this is just my belief, I think China's kind of threatened to do the same. I don't know. I just can't understand why we'd give in on all these things and not have any type of reciprocation from the Chinese. Patriot Radio News Hour, final segment coming up. Don't touch that dial. 800-951-0592. Final segment here. The two-pack. The Kennedy, the nicest Kennedys you can possibly imagine. They look brand spanking new 1964 Kennedys, AUBU Kennedy, a roll of those, and then a roll of the old Walking Liberty $50. And those are, circulated. Walkers. If you've ever had walkers before, they got used. I mean, that's you're talking about the prime age, 50 cents back in 1916, right? 50 cents. You went out. You had breakfast in the morning, lunch in the afternoon, and dinner at night. All out, right? Out at restaurants, and you get it done for 50 cents back then. So that was a widely circulated coin out there. But for walkers, I'm telling you, pretty dang good shape. A lot of, not all of them, but a lot of the dates still very clearly legible. $270 for the set. $270 for the set. We're closing in here. There's I'm guessing somewhere maybe 10 sets max that remain here at 800-951-0592. And I apologize. This is just one of those things I can't get anymore. Even, you can beg and plead. I won't be able to get these again. In the Kennedys, listen, I've been here a long time. Never seen anything close to this. This is how nice that roll is going to look. $270, maximum of 5 sets. That's the max. 1,350 at 800-951-0592. And so as we look out here very short term, and I hate being a short term guy, right? Because what's happening today, tomorrow, next week doesn't matter. But between now and the end of the year, I think we're going to see a Fed's funds rate of 1.5, maybe 1.25. And my guess will be you'll start hearing the central bank talking about QE4, and possibly even before the end of the year implementing QE4. Which is, and by the way, this will be a straight treasury. All as they're going to be holding are treasuries. And of course, the fact of the amount of debt that needs to be issued is just overwhelming. And now banks are kind of turning their nose up at treasury because they all got them. This is what happens when you wallpaper the world with it, right? I mean, what else could you expect? 800-951-0592. September is going to be full of fireworks. I expect Europe to go farther negative. Matter of fact, Europe's hinting at going big negative. That's just what they're hinting, that they're going to be coming out with some kind of a bazooka. We'll see. I expect Japan to go farther negative. I expect us to be cutting as well. And again, I think very bullish. We got great charts on gold and silver, and I think we're going to get a lot of help from the president and a lot of help from the central banks. We're going to get a lot higher than we are now. 800-951-0592, Patriot Radio News Hour. We'll talk again tomorrow.